Hi, welcome. I'm Phwop. I made the Art of War mod, and I'm asking you to playtest for me. What I need is help balancing my new Air War. So what I didn't like about Long War Air War was that it felt really random, and when you get upgrades, they don't have much character. It's good to have upgrades, you have to invest in them, but you don't really get a feeling that each one was unique or special or like where it actually helped you out. It just generally made it better, and that's good. So in the new Air War, I'm defining two really different types of XCOM interceptor weapons. There's the rapid fire weapon, which attacks really quickly and does low damage per hit, but it does about the same DPS to all targets, that from the smallest UFO to the biggest. It does a pretty predictable amount of damage per second. The trick here is that smaller craft have way less health than the biggest craft. So the biggest craft, you're never going to be able to do enough damage with the number of interceptions and their length using a rapid fire weapon. So what do? Then that's where the second type of weapon comes in, the bomb. So bomb type weapons are not necessarily bombs. The beam weapons are actually bombs. The bomb weapons do massive damage per hit, but they fire very slowly. You start off with the rapid fire once Stingray, now Hellstorm missiles, and the once Avalanche, now Jinn Hunter nuclear missile. So the Hellstorm missiles fire quickly, and they do the same amount of damage to everything, which against small UFOs is great because they have low health, and which against bigger UFOs is nice because it lets you finish them off without destroying them guaranteed. The bombs are a little stranger. The bombs are intended to be used against large and medium UFOs, against which they do full damage against large UFOs, like battleships and assault carriers. And against medium UFOs, you can expect them to do somewhere between full damage and half damage, which is still a lot of damage, and the preferred way to whittle down anything's health. Against the small UFOs, their damage is going to be cut to a tiny fraction, which is still going to be a significant amount of damage to these small things, but they're not just going to instantly annihilate the small ones just because they do a lot of damage to the bigger ones. There's some reasons for that. I'm not going to explain it all, but basically it wouldn't be terribly fun if they did. So the tactics that are going to come out of this, here's what I think they are. With the bomb, you're either going to hit and run, take one shot and leave, and if it hits, great, and if it doesn't, then that was an interception you just blew, but you probably didn't get too torn up from it. Maybe you got hit once, maybe you didn't get hit at all. This is all very likely. You're probably used to this in Long War anyway. The other thing you can do with bombs is stick it out. If you've got a long interception window, then you can wait for that second, maybe even that third bomb shot to go off against the UFO. But you're not going to have that long against the smallest UFOs. So you're only going to get long bombing runs against bigger ones, and of course this exposes you to constant counterfire from the UFO. So generally, you're going to take one shot and leave if you want low risk for good reward, or you're going to duke it out for that high risk, high reward scenario when you're using a bomb. With a rapid fire weapon, I see two scenarios. One is you're going to dogfight, that is against a small or medium UFO. Your DPS is good enough that you just want to deal a lot of damage to that UFO. And if you just set it to aggressive and you go for it, you are going to deal like a significant amount of damage, and you're going to get beat up in exchange. But you're trading interceptor health for reliable damage, because even if your aim is crappy, you're going to be shooting so fast, you're going to make numerous hits. So that's good. Like that, yeah, that's great. Or you're going to use them as finishers, because they're very likely to get in a reliable amount of DPS over time, and they make better use of the time that they have, you're much more likely to finish off a wounded craft with a rapid fire weapon pretty quickly. Now, the bigger the craft, the more health it's going to have left over. The more dangerous that's going to be. So against the largest so here's how I think it's going to work. Against the small UFOs, you get maybe 3 interceptions with interceptors. You're going to do maybe 1 safe bombing run on defensive and just pray to the RNG that 35% chance to hit works and you get a bomb off. And then that's probably going to reduce like a scout to half health, or a fighter maybe not even half, but it's going to do significant damage and you're not going to have to stick around long. Your next interception may be the last chance you get at a scout or a fighter. Are you going to then send another bomb, maybe to just completely destroy it, but low risk? Or are you going to send a rapid fire to try and finish it off in a dogfight? Depending on how badly damaged it is, the rapid fire may finish it off in such a short period that you don't actually take damage, or you only take a tiny bit. Or, depending on how much health it has left, you could be stuck there for 5 seconds duking it out. I don't know. What I want is for you to help me find out what feels fair, what feels fun, and if there really are different tactics in this mix-up available. So, I will have all of the UFOs and all of the air weaponry completely redone on this paradigm in the version 1.4 Air War release. So if you want to say, to hell with the tactical game, I just want to see how far I can get with the Hellstorms and the Djinn Hunters, go for it. I would love to hear your feedback. I'd love to know, on average, how many interceptors you have to send out after a given craft, and how many nukes you have to hit it with, and then when you decide to send your Stingray. And I want to know what aggression setting you put your ships on. I just want to know all of it. I want to know how it feels. And I want to know if you feel kind of like you are making intelligent decisions now, or if it still just feels like, well, this is better, that's worse. I just improve everything. I'll note that the air upgrades are going to mean a lot more different things now. The penetrator weapons are going to make bombs do way more damage to small craft. So once you research that, your bombs are going to just blow up scouts. And the Elerium afterburners, that 5 extra seconds, is going to give you plenty of time to make. It's going to guarantee you get an extra bomb shot off against whatever you're fighting, if you decide to stick it out and you live. And one final note. The Firestorm isn't going to be like a better fighter than the Interceptor. The Firestorm is going to be your capital ship. It's going to be the tougher of the two, but slower. And so it's not going to be very good at all ever for hunting down scouts and other small UFOs. But it should be the go-to against medium and larger UFOs because its toughness lets it stick out for long bombing runs. Or it can just sit there and use those rapid fire weapons for longer periods. But when you want to get in a bunch of quick bombing runs, the interceptors are always going to be the best because they're faster, and so you get more interceptions when you use interceptors. And if you need to take out scouts, interceptors are almost your only choice. You may never actually come into contact with the scout or the fighter if you send out a Firestorm. So that's it. Tell me everything you can. I'll be waiting for your feedback, and please forgive the messiness of my room and the slantiness of my pictures. And I hope you enjoy playing Art of War, and if you have any other feedback or anything else you want to tell me, just throw it in the forums. Thank you so much, and good luck, Commander.